Kia ora, rather a wet-looking start to the day across the North Island, thanks to this front which moved across us, bringing some pretty intense bursts of rainfall across Auckland and a wet start here in Wellington as well. But what's behind it is a reminder that we're still very much in winter. Cold southerlies moving back up and across us as we head through the weekend, bringing about that return of some snowfall. So there are some road snowfall warnings for Friday afternoon across places like Porter's Pass and Arthur's Pass. But even as we head through towards Saturday, we could find some of that rainfall turns to snow over the higher parts of the desert road on the North Island. And I think as we head through in towards the weekend as well, we'll keep hold of those southerly winds. That will bring more cloud in towards places from, say, Otago through Canterbury and up on the North Island from Wairarapa right the way up in towards Tairāwhiti, with some pretty strong winds helping to generate some rougher seas around those coasts as well, bringing showers through too. And with that cold air, perhaps even a dusting of snow over the tops of the Aotearoa range and over those hills and mountains between, say, the Bay of Plenty and out towards the likes of Hawke's Bay. So something to watch out for as we head through the next few days. Some colder weather in store. If you're on the western side of the country, places like Waikato, Coromandel, and even down that western side of the South Island, generally the story is one of drier weather, but you'll still keep hold of those colder temperatures and the return of some fairly frosty conditions as we head through towards the early hours of the morning. Looking through towards Sunday, well, you can see it's the same sort of idea. If you're out on the Chatham Islands, it's a pretty rough spell of weather through the weekend. Strong winds, heavy rainfall, and I think we'll find it's not until the end of Sunday we start to find that eases off. But there's not a huge amount of change through Sunday. Still with those southerly winds, they will take their time to ease down around those northern parts, but they'll still feed a fair bit of cloud in, and still some showers as well. It's a fairly wet looking weekend for places like the Mahia Peninsula and the Wairoa district, with that rain just continue to feed through on those southerly winds. Again, the western side of the country looks better. If you're south of the mountain in Taranaki, we'll keep hold of a bit more cloud and showers for you. One or two make their way just on the other side of the hills. But for most spots in the west, it's generally a drier story other than an odd shower. And I think down the western side of the South Island, dry, but again, with some colder air still with us. On towards the start of next week, well, for Monday, we'll find high pressure pushes back towards us. Now, generally brings drier weather across many parts of the country. But again, a bit more of an onshore feed of air, keeps more cloud around those eastern parts of the North Island, and you'll start to find more of an easterly picking up across Northland and Auckland, with some showers through there, perhaps pushing down some longer spells of rain in towards the far northern parts of the country. But for most of us, it's a dry looking start to Monday, and a similar story through in towards Tuesday as well. The higher pressure, you can just about see that circulation air moves across us, keeping most spots in the South Island dry. But it's this cold air that's coming up and across us, and with some clear nights as well, there's going to be some cold and frosty mornings over the next few days. Right in the far north, you can see this area of low pressure. Our winds here in that clockwise fashion, but that stays to the north. It does bring more cloud in towards Northland, Auckland, the Coromandel area, and perhaps a few showers as well. But I think more of that will be those onshore winds once again in towards the hills and ranges of Tairāwhiti. If we take a look even further in towards Wednesday, we'll find that system continues to move across. But I think we'll find that rainfall is really going to be driven by where those winds come in from. So to start off with, we'll find a lot of the wet weather in towards the Wairarapa area, those southern parts of Wellington, those southerlies through the weekend, making it feel a fair bit colder as well. See that difference between southern Taranaki and the north of those winds coming in through Taranaki Bight, bringing the showers through there. They'll ease off once we head in towards Monday, Tuesday. And this area up here, the Wairoa district, you can imagine with the low pressure out towards the east, the wind still coming in from that southerly direction just pushes that rain in towards those northern parts of Hawke's Bay. Down on the South Island, well, we'll find it's a drier story the further south you go, with that high pressure coming back towards us. What you can see up here in the north, that's pretty much the wet weather around first thing on Friday. That's clearing away, so for places like the Tasman region and out towards the western side of the South Island, generally a drier story once we head in towards the weekend. But for these areas, particularly for Banks Peninsula, which is still going to be finding a fair number of showers, and that Kaikoura coast, will keep hold of a risk of a few showers as we head through towards perhaps Sunday and Monday. Further south, the higher pressure builds over, most of us in for a drier story. Right on that far southern coast though, still a few showers just pushing through in towards parts of Fiordland, Stewart Island, and perhaps that southern fringe of Southland as well. Now, you will notice that with the return of some snowfall over the higher ground and generally those southerly winds, our temperatures are going to be much cooler, and I think we're going to really notice that, especially for our nighttime minimums. There's still that warmer air just pulling away as we head through the rest of Friday. Behind it though, southerly winds bring that cold air up and across us. Now, it's August, it's not unusual, But I think we are going to find it's a reminder that winter is still with us. Some cold, frosty nights to watch out for, and daytime temperatures in places like Christchurch and Wellington struggling in single figures more than anything else. Looking a bit further afield in towards next week, where you can see that low pressure to the north that stays away from us. These orange and brown colours showing the higher pressure, and that's really the story as we head through and towards next week as well. Keeping many of us dry. Still with that cold air being up and across, I think we'll find our nighttime temperatures on the cold side, especially for perhaps some of those more inland parts of the North Island, and just starting to find more of a northwesterly as we head back in towards the 17th or so, bringing more cloud and showers back towards that western side of the South Island. As ever, you can find all the latest forecasts over at MetService.com. Have a great weekend.